World Championship bronze medalist Pusala Venkata Sindhu of India. Well, the women's singles destination Dubai ranking at the moment, the top two players there swapping places after the Korean Open because Carolina Marin didn't go to Seoul and Wang Yihan reached the semi-final. Of course, Wang Yihan was the beaten finalist in Seoul and moved up from 5 to number 3. And Sung Ji-hyun has entered the top 10, having won her home event for a second time, up from 13 to number 10. Well, Carolina Marin, the two-time world champion and winner of 3 Super Series events this year, is already through to the semi-final here, as indeed is the defending champion, and that is Lee Shui-rui. And the winner of the last Super Series event, Sung Ji-hyun, she's also through. So this match we're about to witness will be deciding the last semi-final berth in the women's singles tomorrow.
From Indonesia, Tommy Sugiharto. And he is facing the world number 2.
Take a break, turn it to a summer day. Oh, what
The umpire is João Sousa Lopez.
Well, the city of Odense, best known as the birthplace of Hans Christian Andersen, world-famous author of fairy tales, children's stories, but there's an awful lot more to do here. Of course, I've been to see Hans Christian Andersen's house, but it's a magnificent ancient city, wonderful old buildings and walking street and square, lovely cathedral too. I came here when I was a child, Steen, on my holidays.
Yeah, very nice city.
When I was about 7 or 8, yeah. Wonderful time I had. And a couple of years ago because this is the 9th consecutive time that Odense has hosted the Denmark Open. A couple of years ago, I had some time off and I went to see the working farm, the ancient farm, just outside the main city centre, and went back to Hans Christian Andersen's house and relived all my childhood memories. It was wonderful. Here we go. Here comes the women's singles players. Wang Yihan, the number 6 seed, 27-year-old from Shanghai.
From India, PV Sindhu.
Pusala Venkata Sindhu, 20-year-old from Secunderabad, but now lives in Hyderabad. Tall player. First player from India to win a World Championship medal in the women's singles discipline. 2 bronze medals, in fact, now. Klaus Schlieben, our umpire for this one. And of course, PV Sindhu missed a fair chunk of the early season this year because of the stress fracture to the left foot, out for 6 weeks. Had to withdraw from 3 tournaments, including the All England and the Singapore Super Series as well. But she's had a good tournament so far, I have to say. But for Wang Yihan, well, 5 finals here in the last 6 years. Won the title in 2010, beating the qualifier Liu Xin, and then won the title again in 2013, beating Sung Ji-hyun. Number 7 in the world ranking. She has been as high as 118 weeks as world number 1. world champion in 2011, Olympic silver medalist. And she had a real battle, as you can see, in the opening round. In fact, she did have 2 match points to win in 2 straight games, but as you can see, was taken the full distance. And yesterday beat the beaten finalist from the Indonesian Premier Super Series event, Yui Hashimoto of Japan, and looked very good in that victory. So to Pusala Venkata Sindhu, 13 in the world ranking, has had a total of 17 weeks as number 9. And this is her 2nd consecutive quarterfinal here at the Denmark Open. Last year she had a thrilling match, don't know if you remember it, Steen, against Sung Ji-hyung, 25-23, 22-20. I really enjoyed that match. Well, you can see in the 2nd round, she beat Tai Su-ying this year. Tai Su-ying being the number 3 seed, and she beat her in 2 straight games, having already beaten Maria Phoebe Kusumastuti of Indonesia in the 1st round. So both of her matches a little over half an hour to get through to this quarter-final, and that's an indication that she really is playing extremely well. So 2 players playing well. Always sets up an intriguing prospect. 6th meeting between these 2 players, as you can see. Last meeting won by Wang Yihan. In fact, she's won the last 3 meetings. And that was in the last 32 first round of the Australian Super Series. 3 games, as you saw. That was an hour and 12 minutes before Wang Yihan, having saved a match point at 19-20 in that deciding game, eventually won 25-23. There's Klaus Schlieben of Austria.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Wang Yihan, China. On my left, PV Sindhu, India. Wang Yihan to serve. Level play.
So the former champion, a 5-time finalist here, Wang Yihan, getting this quarter-final underway.
Service over. One. Love.
Yeah. Interesting to see how far Sindhu has gotten back to her normal form, and what can she do against Wang Yihan, who's obviously feeling very well here in the Odense Sports Park. Not a lot of wind, little drift from Wang Yihan towards PV Sindhu. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Sindhu were to win this match.
No. And your philosophy behind that?
I think she's hungry.
Yes.
She's hungry for a good performance. And Wang Yihan, she's, as usual, quite heavily strapped around her right knee and thigh. And she knows what's waiting in the semi-final, namely Carolina Marin. And if there's a player that Wang Yihan has had trouble with, that's Carolina Marin. So her motivation might not be exactly as high as PV Sindhu. Of course, it's not something that you consciously think about when you're in the on the court, but I think it might be back there in the back of your head.
Well, service over.
And this is one of the predictions that
One,
could go awfully wrong
three.
with the big victory for Wang Yihan. So I've sort of taken both sides now, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. I mean, she is heavily strapped on both legs. In fact, I think Wang Yihan, I think I saw a bit of strapping on her left leg as well. But I thought yesterday I didn't see all of her match with intensity, but I did have a little glimpse of it, and I thought she was moving better than I'd seen her for a while, Wang Yihan.
And she's been totally dominant in the 4 games that she's won.
Yeah.
Only the 2022 game against Bae from Korea, who is a very good player,
Yeah,
was more than 13 points. And we saw Yui Hashimoto play extremely well in Indonesia, so that's a good player as well.
Service over. 2-4.
well, of course, PV Sindhu, as we saw from the head-to-head, the previous matches between these two players, has won on one occasion, and that, of course, was in the last 16 of the 2013 World Championships. And PV Sindhu won in 2 straight games.
Yeah.
So it's not only having the belief that you can win, you have the knowledge.
You know that you can win, and after these World Championships, I think the amount of pressure on Sindhu grew to an almost unbearable level, and she wasn't able to sort of repeat the performance from the 2013 World Championships. But then she, in 2014, again repeated that with another bronze medal. Got injured, stress fracture from perhaps a lot of training, definitely a lot of training. So the matches where she's lost in between that 2013 World Championship, I don't think she's been at her best. And that's why I feel that she's moving forward now towards her best form. And I could see this as an opportunity for her to create an upset.
Yeah. Do you think perhaps, you talk about how the pressure may have got a little bit unbearable at one stage, and do you think perhaps that because Saina Nehwal, fellow Indian player, because she's become world #1. She's been in the final of the All England Championships this year, final of the World Championships as well, silver medal in Jakarta. All the focus, all the media attention has been on Saina Nehwal.
Gone back to her.
And therefore, it's given her a bit of, PV Sindhu, a bit of freedom and shelter from the media glare.
Yeah, together with the sort of not so strong results.
Yeah.
So she's sort of experienced the first climb to the top of the world, and then the draw-off period where nothing really works.
Yeah.
And I think when she won the bronze in Denmark, it was a bronze that was won from less than 100% of PV Sindhu.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I think here she's a really good player in my opinion, and she retrieves a lot of shots. And if she can get a defense going that can withstand the attack of Wang Yihan and the patient, sharp shots from Wang Yihan, then it will put some pressure on the Chinese on the physical part of the game, I think.
Yeah.
Service over.
Well, I can remember a couple of years ago talking to Morten Frost about PV Sindhu. And he mentioned the defensive play, and he also mentioned net play.
Yeah.
And I think she's really worked on that net play. I think she's improved a lot. It could still get better, but you've got to give credit where credit's due. I think she's worked on it, she's improved, and I think she's also been working on her defense.
I think when she first came forward, she intimidated the opponents by getting a lot of shots back.
Yeah.
And she was lacking a little bit in perhaps technical skills and the ability to control rallies. And of course, we know that she's coached by Gopichan, who's one of the brightest brains in coaching. So he's spotted that, and they've definitely been working on that. And when you have a stress fracture, you get time to work on the details.
Yes.
Where you don't have to move as much.
Oh, that's nice.
Service over, 11-5, interval.
So a 6-point advantage for PV Sindhu at the mid-game interval here in the opening game.
下压之后上推，还是注意一下先把位置抓推度，因为他放他没有抢出。啊，因为你把地。
I think that PV Sindhu's legs look stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, when she first came on the scene and she was 16, 17, you know, she didn't have the power in her legs to be able to lunge out wide, to play those defensive shots or lunge forward to the net and keep the body under control, the torso, and reach out. And I think the physical strength of her legs has helped her movement as well.
When she first came forward, she reminded me of an adventure by Hans Christian Andersen.
Yeah.
There's a little girl selling matchsticks, and her legs were really, really skinny
Yeah.
back then. And yeah, I think she's a player that we have to take into consideration in the next many years.
Yeah.
She's number 13 on the world ranking, and that could, of course, put some pressure on her, but it's still a long way to the deadline. So I think it's just another motivation that, hey, I got to make sure that I'm within top 16 so I can qualify for the Olympics together with Saina Nehwal.
Yeah.
Service over.
So for singles players to get 2 into the Olympic Games, they've both got to be in the top 16.
I think, yeah.
In doubles, they've both got to be in the top 8.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. And that's on the real world ranking list. You operate as well with a sort of cleaned world ranking where if there, for instance, is 3 Chinese amongst the top 8, then only the 2 of them are eligible. So you have sort of a shadow ranking list for the Olympics where you can see how many nations actually are going to be represented at the Olympics.
Service over.
33
7.
spots initially in the 2 singles categories and 16 in doubles.
Most successful women's singles player, Wang Yihan, in the history of the Super Series. 20 Super Series titles to her name.
9. 12.
Oh, look at that, that's beautiful.
Service over.
Lovely skill, lovely touch.
13. 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that, to me, that shot from PV Sindhu was like the variation that you were so complimentary about with Victor Axelsen.
Yeah.
Sometimes do the unusual.
Exactly, and be ready to run the long distance, because if Wang Yihan saves that one, it's a long run for Sindhu to the short forehand corner, but you gotta accept those long runs there in order to prevent your opponent from reading your game.
Yeah.
15. 9. 16-9.
Well played. Well played
Yeah.
by Wang Yihan.
Service over.
Making her opponent.
That one,
Yeah.
the shot that goes to that forehand corner, sets this one up.
10-16.
Yeah, so much. Make your opponents twist and turn, push them to their back, bring them forward.
Yeah, and I think what's really important against Sindhu is that you use a little bit of deception.
Yeah.
Service over. 17-10.
Yeah, full stretch again.
It's wide.
18-10.
Yeah, she's taking that so well now. She really is. That's a perfect example of how she really improved her net play.
Yeah.
And an awful lot of it is about that lunge forward, keeping her body under control, which means that the racket arm is under control, taking the shuttle early. It's a super shot now.
Fault. Service over. 11-19.
Yeah, good judgment.
Service over.
Again,
20.
point
Game
opportunities.
point, 11.
9 of them to be precise. That's landed on the line. I thought that was going to go wide to start with. Bit of a sideways drift, perhaps.
Yeah, I think actually there is perhaps a little bit
Yeah.
going right to left. And of course, this is a small venue, but there's open doors for TV cables and everything. People going in and out.
Yeah.
That's why.
20.
Oh, this is a good little spell from Wang Yihan, but surely too little too late.
At least for the first game here, but it's
Yeah.
important to get some confidence and get some ideas on how to score.
pushed it wide. Well. 4 game points saved. Oh, look at that net shot, that's good. Oh my goodness, that's not so good.
She seems a little bit eager to get that match point here. Game point.
Yeah.
And of course, it's about time to take it in order to prevent and sort of all-out nervousness.
Gone long. Oh, there's me gaily saying too little, too late.
Yeah.
9 game points down.
Shuttle. Okay, bye.
Well, PV Sindhu asking for the shuttle to be changed. Wang Yihan saying no, it's fine, and the umpire agreeing with Wang Yihan.
And everybody's happy.
That's gone wide.
Get that little
18,
break
20.
while discussing.
7 game points have come and gone. And PV Sindhu, to me, is visibly nervous now.
Yeah.
It's almost that panic setting in. Can't possibly lose this, can I? Good rally.
And that defense is going to earn her some points later on. That will go down in the statistics as unprovoked errors, unforced errors. Will it also earn her the first game?
Yeah, this time 21-18. My goodness, she'll be relieved about that. But it just shows why it's always worth fighting, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
And it's a different feeling that she comes over to the second game with, both regarding Wang Yihan. She'd be a little bit more confident, and Sindhu a little bit more worried.
Yeah, exactly. 20 minutes and 21-18.
谈他看着难受，你软和他再碰你就很难受啊，自己感觉呢？
来的时候球快，就球的慢，你说那边是顶的很不错，不管是往这边还是哪边，我就感觉一直在追着跑。其实打的时候不能顺着出去，
对，不能顺着。
他稍微出了，后面我觉得他好像有点打不下来。
关键是你要不顶他，你软，那就很难受。别舒服，后面打的不错，就是来吧，好啊，你看。
थोड़ी सी अभी थोड़ा शटल फास्ट है अभी जो है ना लेकिन हाँ कर रही है
You have to work hard. Like the last point, you have to work every point from the beginning. You can't get easy points. You thought forehand is weak. अभी वो सब नहीं चलेगा. You have to work hard for everything. Either good shots you have to take. You have to come and attack now. If the shuttle is fast, you have to attack. You have to work very. Nothing is going to
टॉस
come
भी
easy.
लेट एक्शन टॉसेस फंस रही है लेकिन जैसे अभी तूने करा ना रैली उसके बाद मिला तब मारी ऐसे ही पेशेंस रख के ठीक है ना बट डोंट बी ऑब्वियस कि तू यहाँ से किक क्रॉस 2-3 नो जब दिख रहा है ऊपर से यहाँ पे भी मार या रख भी और सिंपल रख साइड लाइन पे इतनी जाने की जरूरत नहीं है रखने में रिसीविंग में सिंपल रख दे
And in the beginning, now you have to show that you are in the match.
Yes.
Good rallies, hard rallies, whatever she plays, you are going to play. You have to go harder and little bit sometimes. Just keep it down. Keep it down.
ये इधर से स्पेशली ना when you are pushing giving time then be ready for her this and half smash ये इधर तो रेडी रहे तूने अभी बड़ा अच्छा रिसीव करा that kind of a thing it was amazing you know that kind of that stick there sometimes rallies जब मिले तो please don't get excited to hit those catch no आराम से ठीक है ना शुरू से आराम से लेट एक्शन टॉसेस ऐसे ही ठीक है sometimes he not only
Well, the two Indian coaches, Pullela Gopichan and Madhumita Bish. And Gopichan saying you've got to work hard for every single point and really show from the start.
But I'm not sure it's Gopichan. We only saw him from the back, but I think it looks like Arvind Bhatt.
You're right, it is. Now, Madhu was saying something about watch on when you're defending.
Yeah.
For the half smash across court down your backhand side.
And then straight smash.
Yeah.
And of course, you need to cover them, but it's difficult.
Yeah.
Really difficult.
Yeah.
From China,
Do you know, I saw Arvind back coaching the other day. And because it's only a year ago, 2 years ago, that he was in the final of the German Open, wasn't it? And I didn't realise he'd taken up a coaching role.
Zero placing, world number 7.
Lovely to see him anyway. Charming young man.
Your next Chinese Taipei Open.
And there's no doubt about this is going to benefit Indian badminton for many, many years to come. That there's been so many good players sort of nursed, brought forward by Pullela Gopichan. Now they're going to play, they're going to have their career, and when they finish their career, some of them are going to go into coaching and start spreading it to an even bigger area in India and more academies and so on. So they're going to be a superpower.
Yes, and I've just been reading in the Indian newspapers that Gopichan has opened a second academy in Hyderabad.
Yeah.
And this time it's even bigger.
Yeah.
It's got 9 courts instead of 8 courts. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's really close to the Gachibowli stadium.
Yeah.
Where the World Championship was played in 2009. Of course, also quite a population to service.
Yeah, there they are. There's the 2 coaches. Madhu. Yes, and badminton is now so popular in India, isn't it? Over a year ago, I was reading that it's the 2nd highest participation sport in India behind cricket.
Yeah. We had a future scientist, I think 10 years ago, visiting the Danish Sports Council, and he was predicting this, that badminton would be really, really great in China, of course, and in India, because it's a participation sport. So it will be able to sort of challenge the very economically heavy sports like NBA and cricket and baseball. Perhaps not challenge it or take over, but they could coexist.
Yeah. Oh, this is a marvellous start, isn't it? Again, by PV Sindhu.
And that was what the coaches told her as well. You got to be there from the beginning. You got to work hard to show that you're in the rally.
Yeah.
7, 1.
I just missed it.
Service over. 2, 7.
Oh, that's beautiful. What a super angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that emphasizes your point, doesn't it? You can look for it.
Yeah. But it's really hard to defend. And,
Yeah.
and she's a little bit too late on the drop shot. That one. It's a drop shot from Wang Yihan that sets it up. I think it's a really good combination against Sindhu. Could come back in the next rally here. I think the nervousness that we saw in the end of the first game sort of tells a story that she's on her way back, but she's not really sure where she stands.
Yeah.
Sindhu, she feared that I want to get that now. I want to get that single point. And what Armin Bat was emphasizing, you still need to play the same way that has gotten you to 20. You cannot start playing in another way in order to get the last point. Well, at least China will have one semi-finalist in the women's single.
Yeah.
No matter what happens in this match, because Li Shuirui has already qualified. But it hasn't been the year of Chinese women's single.
No. Oh, that's well taken.
Service over. Four. 9.
Look at that net shot. Yeah, really emphasizing why you need to get that racket arm out, take it as early as possible. Oh, she's done it again. This time she's got it back. Well, having done the good work, that final shot from the former world champion was a little sloppy. Look at that lovely, lovely angle. Oh, that's way in.
That was a hoper.
Yes. Yeah, in badminton terms, that wasn't close, was it? Hideous misjudgment. Oh, well taken.
Very, very good point from
11-5. Interval.
Sindhu. Great read.
Well, same scoreline as the opening game at the big game interval. 11-5.
That's what she's only capable. She can't play high speed. She just cannot play high speed. Play high speed, one cross here, one cross there. Don't give it repeat and
Yes.
put it down. Put it down.
And वो मारेगी
She goes back.
and yeah, हाँ बिल्कुल ठीक है. बीच में तो टॉस भी मार रही है, थोड़ा हल्के हाथ से. It's very good. And वो मारे ना, जितना अगर हो.
6-11.
Oh, that's a great
good.
shot. Very
Yeah.
good deception.
Service over.
There was a lot of communication on both sides during the interval here. Of course, I wasn't able to pick up anything on the Chinese side, and there was some a lot of the stuff on the Indian side that I couldn't really hear either. But I was just noticing that there was an awful lot of communication, and I hope most of it was reinforcements.
Yeah.
Because from an Indian perspective, everything's going well.
pretty well, isn't it? Yeah.
Service over. 7-13.
Yeah, because you don't really want to overcomplicate things for a player that's in a good position anyway. You
No.
just want them to continue doing
Yeah,
what
yeah.
they're doing. If your opponent
And you don't
then
want-
changes things and you've got to react to it, that's different.
Yeah, and it's always a discussion with yourself. How much should I perhaps trick this by talking about it? And with one game already in the bag, I don't think you should talk too much about it. And there's a very clever motto, I think it's called in badminton: get your head out of your body's way. You've been practicing for so many years doing this, so your body knows what to do. Sometimes your head interferes with it because they get all kinds of fantasies of what might be happening.
Yeah.
What if I lose when I'm 20-12 ahead in the first game? Yeah, you didn't.
Yeah.
And if you don't think about it too much, it won't happen
Yeah.
more than it normally would. I mean, sometimes you would, but it's very,
Service over.
very seldom it happens. If you think too much about it, it's going to happen more often.
14-8.
Excellent control from Wang Yihan. I think some of the things that I could deduct from the Indian coaching was that they picked up on the fact that Wang Yihan is playing a lot from one side to another.
That's nice. Good rally.
And look, yeah, that's well played.
Yeah.
Look how many times when Wang Yihan is crossing, that Sindhu is just playing straight back. It was a tactic that I think the Chinese used against Tina Baun a number of years ago, playing her cross a lot and expecting her to play straight back, which she did, because it's the normal response to that.
Yeah.
But you simply have to cross back if you can. At any chance, you need to cross back so that, again, get variation in your game. Oh,
Yeah.
Service over. 15-10.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Service over. 11-15.
Beautiful punch clear. Just inside that back line. Attacking clear, played with disguise.
Service over.
Yeah, as soon as you take it late in those deep corners, hands the initiative to your opponent.
Service over. 12-16.
Yeah, good judgment, just long.
30, 60.
She has a very good work ethic, does Wang Yihan, doesn't she? Fine, natural athlete.
Yeah.
But I don't think necessarily has the repertoire of shots of the Olympic champion, Li Shuirui.
No, I was just thinking about the same thing. The Chinese team have to select 2 out of the 3 top women's singles, and the way the knee of Wang Yihan, the right knee, looks right now, would you select her? Is she going to be a factor in the Olympics? But then again, she's quite experienced.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I would select Li Shuirui. She's the reigning Olympic champion, and that sort of gives her an advantage. But we also saw in
14.
Beijing, we saw Zhang Ning not playing that well throughout the qualification period, struggling all the time, but came back, used all her experience to retain the title and win it on home soil. So I don't know if we should rule Wang Yihan out, but she's been, the last 2 times she's been playing Carolina Marin, she's been whitewashed.
Yeah.
And that's a concern. That's a concern, yeah, exactly.
But the alternative, Wang Shixian, I think Wang Shixian is vulnerable to quite a few players.
Yeah.
Well, that's all hypothetical at the moment as far as the players are concerned. This, I think, for all the players, you were talking about it earlier today, weren't you, Steen, about the sort of internal fighting for Olympic positions. And I think as far as Wang Yihan is concerned, she knows this is crucial to send a message to the head coaches.
Yeah.
I'm still in there. I've got to win this. I want to do well in this tournament again.
And sometimes the Olympic qualification simply takes up too big a spot in the player's head, in my opinion.
I agree.
Everything is about the Olympic qualification. I mean, what about the year that you try to qualify for the Olympics? Don't you want to win there? Don't you want to win tournaments? Don't you want to win on a long-term basis after the Olympics? And I think, of course, it's important, but if you overdo it, that's going to be really, really tough on yourself.
Yeah.
I think the best way to do it is simply to try to improve as much as possible, and then see. Normally, things come naturally after that.
Well, this is the thing. It's like, you know, sports people chasing money and their motivation. If you're winning the tournament, you're going to be earning the biggest prize money anyway.
Exactly.
It's a byproduct.
Yeah.
So your world ranking is a byproduct of you trying to win the tournament and win it every match and therefore win the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Get the focus right. Get the whole point of this right. Always looking to improve.
Yeah, and we've seen so many players being like nervous wrecks during the qualification period. What about enjoying that you're able to do what you love for a year?
Exactly.
Instead of sort of seeing it as an ordeal.
Yeah. Good rally. Gone long.
Yeah.
17, 19.
Very exciting situation now here, because it will be the margins. Oh.
Yeah, the umpire's having a word with the players. Not so much wandering around in between rallies, says Klaus Schlieben. Yeah. Play must be continuous.
We're facing runner-ups at the Star Australian Open 2015 from China, Liu Chen.
That's well played.
Yeah.
I like the net shot from Wang Yihan.
Umpire Jakob Sundberg, Swedish judge is Henrik
Once again, PV Sindhu saying, I want the shuttle changed.
Yeah,
Wang
but-
Yihan saying no.
And her gesture was like it was a challenge. I thought, what? But it was that she wanted the shuttle
Yeah.
changed.
Just 1 point in it now.
Yeah.
Back level.
That's a big miss.
Yeah.
19 all.
4 straight points. And this is where it plays on the mind of PV Sindhu.
Yeah. It would be a good result for her to win this match. Oh, that's wide. How lucky is that?
Yeah. Match point opportunity. That error from Wang Yihan
Yeah.
gifts the match point opportunity to PV Sindhu.
Just so beautiful to see when you have trouble scoring yourself that the opponent makes a point for you.
Yeah. She's done it. Another error from Wang Yihan. And a little skip and squeal of joy from Kusala Venkata Sindhu.
Match won by PV Sindhu, 21-18, 21-19.
21-18, 21-19 confirms our umpire. And that is a very, very good victory indeed for the tall Indian player. "45 minutes, and she's through to her first Super Series semi-final of the year. Only her third Super Series semi-final in total. 21-18, 21-19. So just one more quarter-final to come, and it features the former champions and home players Matthias Boe and Carsten Mogensen, number 4 seeds this year, up against Chai Biao and Hong Wei. As far as the Destination Dubai rankings are concerned, with the men's doubles with Lee Yongdae and Yu Young Sung, having been in 4 finals this year, winning 3 of the titles, including the last 2 Super Series events. 2 titles in 2 weeks, the Japan Super Series and then their home event, the Korean as well. Fu Haifeng and Zhang Nan moved up a place, swapped places with the Japanese pair of Endo and Hawakawa, because Fu Haifeng and Zhang Nan were semi-finalists in Seoul. In fact, they're the defending champions here, aren't they? They won the title a year ago when unseeded. Boe and Mogensen moved up 2 places from number 7 to number 5. And so this should be a good match.
Men's doubles, please welcome world number 6 and winner of the Yonex Sunrise Open from China, Chai Biao and Hong Wei.
Well, we can see that the top half of the draw, it's been decided. The 2013 winners, the world number 1s, Lee Yongdae and Yu Young Sung, safely through. So too the number 3 seeds this year, the defending champions, Fu Haifeng and Zhang Nan. Bottom half of the draw yet to be decided. But I can tell you that the other quarter-final is already on court with the European champions, Sozonov and Ivanov. But here are the former European champions, Matthias Boe and Carsten Mogensen. Olympics silver medalists, World Championship silver medalists. Won a gold medal this year in the first ever